Oh, hello. Welcome back. I'm here to catch you up with all of the Kill Team news. So, on we go. So, a couple of weeks ago now, we had the reveal that there will be Space Marine Scout rules for Kill Team coming in White Dwarf 497. Now, this was really strange, because we just obviously had the rules for a Space Marine Scout Kill Team, right, in Salvation. So there was a bit of speculation back and forwards on the internet going, well, is it going to be a reprint? It's probably going to be a reprint. A couple of people holding out hope that there might have been some tweaks and changes and updates or something slightly different or sideways. A bit like how Strike Team Justian was a slightly different or sideways version of the Intercession Squad. But alas and alack, no, this was simply the Space Marine Scouts rules from Kill Team Justian reprinted in White Dwarf. Now, this is a bit interesting, viewed in the context of some of the stuff we're going to talk about later, where Kill Team has been quite significantly delayed. It's commonly thought that White Dwarf is sent for printing about 6 months before the release date, and certainly we've had some things like that before now, where I think that there was a Legions Imperialis battle report that came out in White Dwarf before Legions Imperialis had released, and going back a little bit further, I remember there was loads of Lumineth stuff in White Dwarf before the Lumineth were released because they were pushed back for some reason. So it's quite hard to sync up when they thought these rules would come out alongside like when they thought, because remember, Salvation itself was delayed. It was supposed to come out in 2023. It was supposed to come out by the end of November 2023. So, interesting that they've done this. I don't know how much it means. We'll get on to that. So, reprints galore. So what then happened, just to catch you up in the narrative of things, in case I am aware that some of the people that watch my channel, this will be the first they hear of this stuff, even though, because I had a little sabbatical, I'm a little bit late to the party. But in the twilight between the subscriber copies of White Dwarf going out and people kind of confirming that it's, that it's just the Scouts team, GW actually have put the Space Marine Scout and Blades of Cain team rules online for free. So if you're unaware of that, provided you with a service, subscribe to the channel. But you can go and look at the full rules for both these kill teams right now on warhammercommunity.com. Just click downloads, click kill team, and they'll be right there for you. And then there's been quite a lot of quite frantic discussion and commentary about this on the internet. I think there's quite a large group of people who, if they have one cause in Warhammer, it's that the rules should be free. They should be free PDFs, or free in an app, or free something. And every time GW shows, every time GW throws them a bone, so to speak, and puts a glimmer in that direction, a lot of these people get really overexcited. I think this is probably going to happen for the rest of this season, whatever that looks like. I don't think this is signposts any great big sea change for Kill Team, even less for GW as a whole, right? I actually think this is a little bit of a sad thing in a way, because it means that Kill Team's getting less resources, because what's happened is they've announced the pre-orders for the Scout Squad and the Blades of Cain in the individual boxes. I've pictured those down the bottom of the slide there. And those teams are releasing on the 2nd of March. And then there's nothing on there to do with a reprint of the book. So they've had to do this, essentially, in much the same way they had to put the rules for Beta Decima up for free, because they're not reprinting the Salvation book. So in other words, people will buy, or they'll go, oh great, Blades of Cain for Kill Team, I'll give those a go, they'll pick it up, and then they'll go, what do you mean the rules are in an out-of-print book that I didn't buy, and now I've bought this thing? Oh, I'm taking that back to the Warhammer shop and getting a refund, right? That's why the rules have to be for free online, so that the Warhammer shop store manager can go, oh no, Johnny, the rules are here on the internet for you. Oh, okay. Right. There seems as well to be no indication that the cards, so if you bought Salvation, it came with cards for both all of the troops in the Scout Squad and the Blades of Cain kill teams, but also like some of their abilities, their tac ops, loads of different bits and pieces, and some tokens. Nothing on the listing of Warhammer.com leads me to expect those cards are included in those boxes. Now, I've not seen anyone on YouTube get these early for an unboxing. Generally speaking, when a product is fundamentally a reprint like this, we don't see them get sent out to the YouTube people on the marketing department list, right? So, but there's nothing in the pros or the pictures on Warhammer.com that would lead me to believe those cards are going to be in there. Now, maybe they will be, but I just think it's really interesting, actually. And actually, I think it's quite sad. They clearly put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into what Salvation was going to look like as a product. But those extras, those cards and those tokens, those are a one and done. You're not getting those in these boxes, I don't think. Also, that narrative terrain sprue. So they went through a phase of giving those narrative terrain sprues an online-only release, right, alongside the rerun of the actual teams. We've heard nothing about that either. So a lot of people are calling this one an absolute win because they want to get the rules for free on PDF, and I can see how you would arrive at that conclusion. But for me, it means less Kill Team product is going on shelves. It means that Kill Team's getting less of Games Workshop's marketing push. And so I think all of this is to be expected. We are in year 3 of the game, and this is true for all of Games Workshop's big games that they support, they have on their 3-year cycle. In year 3, you get less of the resources of the company behind your game, because behind the scenes, there's a lot of resources during that 3rd year that are going into the next edition, which we expect to launch, during this calendar year, right? We're in the 3rd year of Kill Team, but the Kill Team year doesn't sync up with the calendar year. That's right, we're going to start talking about seasons in a minute, so I'm just getting the confusion about years in early, right? So here's the obligatory slide about seasons with an even more remedial primary school graphic. So let's just see. I'm sad because you can't even properly look. This is just for you. There we go. See, so we can see that winter is defined, as every small child knows, December, January, and February. And so what this tells us is that Nightmare is going to be late, right? So Nightmare was supposed to be coming out in the winter, which for them to make that time scale, it needed to have come out before the end of February. Now you're saying, but Phil, it's only the 18th of February. It could still come out before the end of February. Well, no, it couldn't, because pay attention. We already know the next Kill Team releases these individual boxes. We already know that they're releasing on the 2nd of March. We've gone to the norm being a 2-week pre-order window. There's just no way that Nightmare's coming out before the end of February. It can't happen now. So Nightmare is going to be late, right? I'm sure. I'll get hate comments from the people that don't know what seasons are, or that just have and I'm somebody that usually defends Games Workshop, but there will be people that are like, no, you can't just say it's going to be late. But it is, okay? And we don't really know what's going on after that, because we don't have any new roadmaps. And one last bit of news that I wanted to catch up with. We know there's going to be no Warhammer Fest this year. I didn't get a screenshot, but they basically tacked it onto the bottom of an article about, golden demons around the world or something. They super slipped this one out under the radar, right? But they said, oh yeah, no Warhammer Fest in the UK this year. And again, the rumour goes, because the last Warhammer Fest was so unpopular and so slated online, they apparently took a year out to discuss it, right, and to come back with, the plan is to come back with an even better Warhammer Fest in 2025. And for my part, I hope that it's in Manchester Central. I think that the venue was really good. But yeah, they need more stuff in their they need more stuff in their big flagship event, right? I mean, they need to find a way to get over themselves and bring back the ability to go and talk to the actual creatives and designers behind the games that we spend thousands of pounds on. But that's been said more eloquently by people with a finger closer to the pulse of this thing than I have. Just got to throw my 2 pence behind that one. So the main thing I want to talk about today is this. So this is taken from my Discord server, which is a public and free Discord, by the way. You should consider joining it, especially if you've recently been locked out of Mr. Glass Half Dead's Discord and you're looking for another Discord server with a charming Anglo-centric vibe. You should consider the Tabletop Impulse Discord server. The link is in the description. There are other bigger, better, more popular Kill Team servers, but they are slightly more, there's less tea and crumpets, you know? So if you like that slightly British vibe to things, come along to the Tabletop Impulse Discord server. Anyway, enough of a plug. This is Games Workshop's pile of shame. And what do I mean by that? Games Workshop has some very specific stuff going on right now. So I put this spreadsheet together based on their roadmaps and then updated it based on what they have previewed and then what's finally been released. So if we look first of all in December, January, February, all this information comes from originally their roadmaps, and then as they preview things, I've filled it in with more detail. So releasing in December, January, February that we haven't had, we're supposed to get the 30k Solar Auxilia, because originally that was where the Mystery Plastic Army was on the roadmap for 30k. Kill Team Nightmare, which we've already covered, as well as the Warcry, Pyre and Flood boxes. So I have to tell you, all three of those things are going to be late. Right? Meanwhile, you see, and I haven't updated this because that Dark Angels square in March, April, May, that should be green. Because just today, in the Sunday preview, the Dark Angels have gone up for Sunday preview. So 40k is getting special treatment. 40k is forging ahead and not being allowed to fall behind schedule, one supposes, because it still makes them the most money. But they have three, and I would say three pretty big releases, right? You've got boxes for the two biggest, I would say, like non-core games, and then like a whole army range for 30k. Must have put a lot of man hours of design work into that thing, but they're just not going to make it out on time. And then we can look forwards, we can see that we know a lot about 40k. 40k has had an extension in terms of its roadmap. They had a little roadmap out. You know, people in the rumour sphere are already talking about how that 40k super secret army is apparently going to be agents of the Imperium. All sounds really cool, but it just... some of these smaller games, like Kill Team and also Warcry and 30k, are getting left in the dust. And the reason I call it Games Workshop's pile of shame is it feels like they can't help themselves. Their marketing department just cannot stop. They keep previewing things and previewing things and previewing things. And it's really obvious that they're having real trouble getting stuff out. Now, part of this is the reality of, and I don't want to turn this into a political thing at all, but it's one of the realities of capitalism. If you're a publicly traded company, a PLC, you have to grow every year. Okay, so you have to constantly be growing, always be growing. And I'm not the first person to say this, and I'm not going to say it in the most eloquent way, but that does cause a problem, right? Because, constantly having to grow is putting everybody that works for the company under a lot of pressure all the time, when actually you could just stay where you are and make everybody happy. But such is the world, right? Now, in their quest for growth, I think, first of all, hats off to Games Workshop. We've seen the Kill Team Nightmare sculpts, we've seen the Solar Auxilia sculpts, we've seen the Pyre and Flood stuff. None of the stuff they're releasing looks bad. I don't think we're getting like a massive decline in... I'm not saying every single thing Games Workshop releases are bangers, but actually some of the worst models that have come out now and again have been random weird bits of like the old Forge World line, and they largely wrap that up. Like, Games Workshop doesn't really make a bad plastic kit. They do the odd thing that's really not to my taste, but I don't think the quality of the models is going down. I really don't think the quality of the rules is going down either. I know I'm going to get hate comments because I keep saying that the 40k 10th edition is not that bad, and I know it's unpopular with various people because of their lack of granular points, but I don't think... Okay, even if you think that 40k, the latest edition of 40k is a bit of a miss, I don't think it's there because of laziness. Like, I don't think... they've made decisions, and they've actually, I think, in some ways, they probably could have been lazier and made a product that people that have been playing 40k for many editions would like more, right? They didn't need to try and design a Battleshock system. They didn't need to make as many changes as they did. They could have just spent less money, tweaked 9th edition a bit, and probably be getting more favourable commentary online in general. I mean, probably be getting less favourable content from the people that actually follow the competitive scene really closely, where 40k is actually doing really well at the moment, but it's a bad game if you want to say it's a bad game. And heck, if the game's not fun to play around a kitchen table, but it works really well in tournament play, and the kitchen table players don't enjoy it, then by some definitions, it's a bad game. That's fine, right? But what I don't think they're doing is skimping on the quality. Can we just try and agree on that? They're not saying, we're going to spend less hours writing these rules, we're going to spend less hours sculpting these models. So the growth is there, in the creative department, and it seems to be working. I mean, think about the insane things they've done. This year, they launched Legions Imperialis, right? They've launched Warhammer the Old World. No, sorry, Legions Imperialis was the tail end of last year, was it? Or did it come out this year in the end? But either the tail end of last year or the start of this year, they've launched Warhammer the Old World, right? When did they redo 30k? Was that early last year? I mean, the Games Workshop release schedule used to be every 3 years you got a 40k, every 3 years you got an Age of Sigmar, and every 3 years you got something else, right? A big box to fit that gap, and that would be a game that would kind of be supported for 3 years and then drift off. They're releasing so many games now, right? There's games on here that don't even have roadmaps because they didn't exist at the time of last Warhammer Fest. There's no Old World roadmap because Old World didn't actually exist, okay? There's no Legions Imperialis roadmap because Legions Imperialis didn't actually exist, all right? For them to have 2 brand new games, they're doing a lot, and obviously the bottleneck is existing somewhere in either manufacturing, distribution, right? So somewhere in manufacturing, distribution, Games Workshop's really suffering, and they're still suffering. Now, you could say, well, no, hang on, Nightmare being late is a natural consequence of Salvation being late. Wouldn't actually make sense for Nightmare to be coming out this week because it would feel too soon after Salvation came out. And so everything's got to. So all the Kill Team stuff's got to be on like a 2-month delay or a 1-month delay, or whatever you believe the delay might be. Perhaps, but that doesn't account for the Solar Auxilia and the Pyre Flood slipping back, right? They weren't one-off delays caused by whatever the screw up with the Legions Imperialis rulebook, perhaps including something or not including something or whatever it would have been. We can't keep leaning on that one event as the reason for all this kind of nonsense. So Games Workshop's going to keep going forward, they're going to keep previewing stuff, and then the stuff's just not going to appear. Unless it's for 40k. 40k is just in the VIP lane, right? So the Dark Angel stuff, out it comes. It's coming out going on pre-order next week. Pre-order in 2 weeks. Be in your hands in 3 weeks if you play 40k. Good for you. And I'm sure that the Tau, or crew, should I say, are going to be pretty hot on the heels, But yeah, they seem to have real problems servicing all their different other games. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But that's my little rant, to celebrate my return to YouTube. So here we are. Final thoughts. So I am sorry for I think it was 2 weeks at the end. I was ill, and then I'm still a little bit not quite myself, but back to it now. And I was just no fun. So it was just a required little break. And I know you understand. And thank you for all the messages of support that I got from all the lovely people on YouTube, in the Discord, in DMs, all over the shop. Appreciate that, I do. So I'm taking advantage of the fact that there's been a little hiatus and a little pause to update the channel schedule for those people that care. So there's going to still be a video about this time every Sunday. I'm supposedly aiming to get the Sunday video out at 7:30. It's currently 7:45 and I've not finished and uploaded the video yet, so obviously this is going to be a little late, but it's aiming to come up at around 7:30. But the Sunday one is the one that's going to be done every week off the cuff, because I always wait for that 6 o'clock UK time Games Workshop pre-order announcement. Not that will always feature in the video, it has this time somewhat, but the Sunday video is always going to be kind of, it's maybe touching in with the schedule like we have today, or something else Games Workshop focused, news focused, maybe a roundup of some of the news that's happened in the week that we've missed. It's always going to have that kind of vibe to it. Then on Tuesdays, you're going to find like the hobby products reviews, the shower thoughts, the things that are a bit longer, a bit more interesting, involving a 4-quadrant graph maybe, or a review of a team or a hobby like run through. That's the vague plan, and they're going to go up at 7:30 UK time, and they're going to be recorded in advance. Members are going to get them today early. If you really want the stuff early, do consider channel membership. And then the hobby stream is moving from Tuesdays to Wednesdays, so that's going to be back on Wednesday again, 7:30 UK time. Hope that's all really clear. Any problems, leave me a comment, join the Discord, ask me on the Discord, or just say "or you," and I'll try and re-explain everything a little bit better. A big thank you to all my members for their continued, and really nice to say there's not been like a big rush of cancelled subscriptions when I went basically radio silent for 2 weeks. That was really good. But especially to Mr. Nightfall, who's once again subscribed at the top. Say my name at the end of every video level. So there you are. Thank you, Mr. Nightfall. And do share your thoughts and comments down below, about the stuff we covered today, the release schedule, especially if you have any insights. That would be really nice to know, and consider joining the Discord. I know that Mr. Glass Half Dead had one of the biggest and most well-used community hubs, and has decided to make that patrons only. That's fine. That's his decision. But if you are casting around for a free Kill Team Discord, like I said before, with that slightly more British slant to it again, right? Because there's Command Point, there's big American servers that you could go and join. The Table Impulse Discord is there if you want it. Okay, feel free to come and join us. And thank you. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. Thank you so much. I'll see you again on, check schedule, Tuesday. Yeah, looking forward to it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye.